Good evening and welcome to the June 28th, 2021 Sylvania Board of Education meeting to order. Lisa, can you call the roll?
Yep. Julie Hoffman.
Here.
Bruce Lonslinsky.
Here.
Greg Feller.
Here.
Kimberly Conklin.
Here.
Tammy Lavalette.
Here. Thank you. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And that puts us with you, Dr. Bonnelly, for the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Ms. Hoffman. Wow, it's going to be July here in a minute. As you may already know, we've wrapped up our first session of Summer Swing. Summer Swing is our summer program for our students to help recoup some of the loss of instruction that's taken place over the last year plus. But session 2 starts, believe it or not, July 12th, which isn't that far away when you think about it. But we're excited that we are underway already with our second session. In fact, you'll see on the agenda tonight there are some actions that we are recommending to support positions for our Summer Swing 2. Also, we are monitoring our elementary enrollment. We continue to talk about it. We look at it weekly. One of the things for those who may be watching at home right now or later, we really want to reach out to our families and encourage them, if they have kindergartners, to get them enrolled. Right now in some of our buildings, we are 30 students below our typical trend numbers at this time of year. So we don't know if that's a fluke or if that's people are thinking about sending their kids or keeping them home or not, or looking at all the options they have. But for anybody who may be tuning in, if you know a neighbor or a family member or a friend that has a kindergartner that they plan to have attend our schools this fall, please, please, please come and get your child registered for the up and coming school year. On a final note, I had the pleasure of going over to Stranahan Elementary today, and boy, to my surprise, if you haven't driven by Stranahan lately, one, there is a great mural that's been completed on the outbuilding. It looks like college-ready, collegiate, it's like so good. But there's another story. If you go into the cafeteria, we have a Stranahan parent who actually goes by the name of Tony Touch, who has donated his time to do an entire mural around the cafeteria of Stranahan Elementary. And it is absolutely remarkable. It's done with spray paint, freehand. It is gorgeous. And to make it kid-friendly, Tony Touch actually put different pieces of food that are hidden across the wall. So you have to look for a piece of bread, maybe a head of lettuce, corn on the cob, or a banana, but it's all hidden in a beautiful, beautiful picture. Thank you to Tony Touch for your work. It is incredible, unbelievable. I can't imagine like having to actually secure a vendor to do something like that, but it's so child friendly. So no matter what age you are at Stranahan, you'll be able to sit up there and find something new all the time with the mural. Also, I think it's important to note that Art Supply Depot donated supplies and paint, as well as Sherwin-Williams. So thank you to Art Supply Depot and Sherwin-Williams as well. But it is fantastic. If you have a chance, take a peek. That concludes my superintendent's report.
I saw the one outside.
Isn't it awesome?
Unbelievable, yeah, it's beautiful. So thank you for that. I'm still with you for recognition of achievement.
Yes, for item actually 3.1, I would like to recognize 2 students for their achievement. We have Sophia Carlosi. She has been chosen as an exhibitor for the Young People's Art of the Month exhibition. A piece of her artwork that she developed, designed, and executed is on display at the Rhodes State Office Tower in Columbus, Ohio. Her piece of work was actually sponsored by the Ohio Art Education Association. In addition, we have Lauren Stuckey, who's also an exhibitor for the 41st Annual Youth Art Month exhibition. Her work is displayed at the State Teachers Retirement System building, also in Columbus, Ohio. So congratulations to those 2 young ladies. I know their families must be proud. I know I am, as all of you are.
Of course, I'll move approval.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Julie Hoffman,
Yes.
Bruce Vanswitzky,
Yes.
Greg Feller,
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin,
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette. Yes.
Thank you.
I see we have Erica Murray here from the Olander Park System.
Yes, how are you
Speak
guys?
to us. Very well, thank you for
Good,
coming.
thank you so much for making time for me today. I know you guys have a lot going on, but
We love our parks.
we appreciate that. We finished a strategic plan last winter, and I kinda wanted to go through some of the updates. I haven't had a chance to really come before you guys in a really long time, and some of you are new, so there's a couple items that I wanna introduce to you as well, beyond just a, hey, what we're up to. So I'm just gonna go quickly through my presentation. I can just push the button, right?
You just have to go to that new tab.
Let's see.
This part I don't know about. Yes,
We're
there's on.
gonna go right down here to this new tab, right there, and nope, it's not there, is it this one? Try this one? Nope, that's not there, I don't see the tab. Only two are popping up. It's a.
Oh, there it is.
Yep, it was on the other one. Sorry. Oop. School board presentation, there we go. Upper tab, I'm sorry, not lower tab, upper tab.
We got.
And present, there you go.
Okay. So, I'm sure all of you have used our parks before, and what's your favorite park? Who's got Olander as their favorite? Who's got Sylvan Prairie as their
Oh, my
favorite?
favorite.
Who's been to Whetstone recently? Yes. Okay. So, this is our new mission and vision and core values that we developed this year. I'm not gonna go through all of this, it's on our webpage if you guys wanna check it out, but we really tried to narrow down what our role was in the community and what we wanted to do for the community in these statements. And we're tying that into all of our staff training and all of the things that we are doing going forward. Everybody knows about Olander Park. Awesome, super excited you guys know about Sylvan Prairie, because people forget that's ours too. We manage Fossil Park for the city of Sylvania, and we have a little tiny parcel over at Whetstone Park, which is right behind ProMedica Wellness Center. If you haven't been over there, it's like an old, it was a city park and then they gave it to us forever and ever ago. We manage the South Use of Oak Savannah for you guys, and we have a really small property on her road that is right along 10 Mile Creek. We also manage a small site for the city of Toledo, way out east, called the Waterbury Wetwoods, and that's over kind of in the Flanders Talmadge area. We are a 1545 park district. This is just updates for those who might not know this. That means that we are funded by a property levy, and that is a 5-year levy, and it costs about $50 annually for families that live in a $200,000 house. We are up in 2022. Olander Park, beautiful lake, swimming, boating, biking. We put in a really awesome playground in the northwest corner that we call the back 40. That's kind of been a project that we've been working on for the past 7 or 8 years. Super excited to see that to completion. And we put in a walking path. You know, it doesn't seem new, but it was new. It's still only 2 years old. And we put in some fun swim toys at the beach this summer. So not a huge bunch of updates at Olander Park, but still trying to keep it exciting and a good place to hang out. Fossil Park, almost all of the school 4th graders, Sylvania School 4th graders come to Fossil Park, either in the fall or the spring. And I don't know if you guys follow us on Facebook, but a little girl just found a rock this past week with like 7 full trilobites in it. It was phenomenal. So still great material coming out of there. We are planning some major improvements here over the next couple of years. We're going to put in a shelter and a playground this fall. And then this ramp that you can kind of see in the right side picture is starting to crumble, and so we need to do some renovations to that. So that's going to be a full tear out and rebuild next year. Sylvan Prairie Park is our largest parcel, and it is a restored prairie. It used to be a farm field, and it was going to be a housing development, and we were able to take advantage of the housing slump in 2009 through 2014 and purchased some property out there. The Quarry Ridge Bike Trail, loops that site. We are working on master plans for all of our parks and kind of prioritizing projects that we're doing. We really needed to focus on Fossil Park this year, and we are looking at some improvements at Sylvan Prairie probably in the next 3 to 5 years. It still doesn't have bathrooms. Whetstone, again, right behind ProMedica Wellness Center, really tiny little park, but we are super excited. We just put in a walking trail there, so it's a loop, but there's no sidewalks in this neighborhood, and so and it also connects up to, there's like a sidewalk that goes around from the ProMedica Wellness Center, so we're really excited to have that in place. That project just wrapped up, and it looks really great. When I drove over there, I was really happy with it. Still need to grow some grass, but it just changes the whole character for the better of that parcel. And then this site, right behind Southview High School, we have a management agreement with you guys, the school district and school board, to manage the site, and that started in about 2001. We have been working on it since then. The first probably 5 years it was me and some volunteers, but we were able to get some staff in and help with that, and we've still been utilizing a lot of volunteers in that space. And it's a really awesome space. I have a couple of slides I'm going to talk about that. So, Sylvania is in the Oak Openings region, and I apologize. I will make sure you guys get Oak Openings guides, but I didn't have any today. We're almost out, so we'll get some and make sure you have them next month. But Sylvania is in the Oak Openings region, which is a globally rare ecosystem that extends all the way from actually north of Detroit to the Maumee River in that green swath that you can see there. Sylvania is kind of smack in the middle, and that site behind Southview is one of the most intact spaces that we have in the Sylvania Township. We've converted a lot of our land to farm and then also to residences, so that little site is kind of a really perfect pocket of what we have. And what's unique, what makes this site so unique is, if you look at this picture on the right, you can see kind of the dark blue half circles, or kind of, I don't know what to call those. Those are the dunes. So the darkest blue is the highest point of the dune. And because of that dune complex, the high dunes have really dry sandy soils, and then the low parts of the dune is more moist sandy soils with a little bit more water access. And so that huge difference in elevation and also moisture makes for a really awesome combination of plant species that anywhere else you'd have to climb thousands of feet to get to. So it's kind of cool in the Oak Openings that we don't have to go very far. So we get some plants just in the Oak Openings in general that in Appalachia you'd find at the top of a mountain, or you'd find in northern Michigan. So really cool space. We have been able to, there's 24 state listed species there of all categories, so that includes special concern, potentially threatened, and endangered. And that's just the flora, so that's just the plants. We also have seen box turtles out there, they're also listed. A number of species of snakes, lots of birds. So it's such a cool little pocket. And it's really been a privilege to be able to work out there and bring people out and show it off, because it's awesome. And we have been able to use volunteers, bring folks out to do service work from the University of Toledo. The university also uses this site for 2 of their lab classes. One is the soils lab and the other is the ecology lab. So they actually come out twice during the semester and take samples and do little science experiments. We've been able to partner with the horticulture class at Southview, and these are Girl Scouts from like 20 years ago, and those girls are all in their mid-20s now. I like to show that picture because, they're all grown-ups and probably doing amazing things now, right? So that's it for the Oak Savannah. I'm gonna go back here really quick. Because the site is so unique, it is, and we've been working on it for a while, the conservation community in Northwest Ohio is aware of that site and how cool it is. And one of those partners is the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. And they have a program whereby you can protect that property in a number of ways, from either just designating it as a natural area to actually, turning it over to ODNR. Now, I know how that all goes, and I'm not asking for that. I'm just asking for you guys to kind of consider some options on how we can protect that space, if that's something you want to do. I think from an educational standpoint and an ecological standpoint, it has a lot of value. But I also understand that as a school board, you have a lot of considerations you have to make when you're looking at land development and how you're gonna manage your properties. So I'm not expecting you to talk to me about it today, or even next month. But I wanted to put a little thing in your brain, and I also have information from ODNR about what potential options might be, okay? Okay, I'm not asking you to commit to anything, so let's see. Okay? Greg's like, oh God. Alright, so just look through that, again, really, another really great opportunity if the Sylvania Rec, community center goes up across, this is right across the bike path, we will get even more folks and more opportunities for education and enrollment, so it's close to my heart. Alright. The other project that we're gonna be working on, this is probably a 24 to 25 project, is the extension to the University Parks Trail. So the, Metro Parks extended the trail to Silica Road, and the next portion will be, and you can see that's the blue that goes to Silica, that red dotted line from, is that right?
Yeah.
Yep, from Silica to her, yeah, yes, but we're not going all that way, so we're just going to Centennial. So the Metro Parks is gonna do that first section from Silica to Centennial, okay? The second portion is the Park District's responsibility, so that includes going from Centennial to her road and then north up her road, hopefully, ultimately connecting at Sylvan Prairie Park. Now, we have been fortunate to get a donation for this section, I'm gonna just, right here, and so we don't, don't touch the screen, Erica. So this portion right here, we were able to get a donation, so rather than having to go straight up to Sylvania Avenue and then try and figure out how to get along here, we're gonna be able to come straight across and go up her road, which I really like because it's gonna give access to all these people who live on this road. That's not a huge number of people, but they wouldn't have been able to access the trail otherwise. It also gets us a lot closer to Timberstone Junior High. They're doing a roundabout here at her and Sylvania, and the engineers have plans for that in the next, I don't know how many years. Hopefully before we do our bike trail. And what I would like to ask again, to put in your brains for the next 2 years, is to see if we can work on a partnership where the trail would actually come onto the Timberstone property and cross just on this eastern edge and cross into Sylvan Prairie that way. We have homeowners here that I would like to not make upset with me. And then also the county doesn't want to do any more mid-intersection crossings. So our options of going on the south side of Sylvania Avenue, which is currently undeveloped, is kind of impossible because we would have to cross right in the middle of Sylvania. So we're hoping to cross at her, but if we can cross onto Timberstone, and that would also give more access from the school to the bike trail, which there really isn't a good spot to do that right now. So that's another proposal. Again, this is down the line, but I wanted to just put that in your brains and have you start thinking about what that might look like. And hopefully we can talk about that in the future. That's all I had. Short and sweet.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Erica?
The conservation.
Is that super fast?
We're all looking at you,
Yeah,
Greg.
Are you looking
I
at
need
conservation easements, is that one of the options that's?
It is, yes, that is one of the options. And the nice thing about this book is it really does, it lays out every single potential option that we can work with. And ODNR has done agreements of all sorts with communities, so. And I understand that delegating this property as a preserve might be a challenge just in case you need to do future development. But it is really a gem in this community, and I would personally This is on our website. Our strategic plan is on our website. We have a really active Facebook page. We are, I thought I put that slide in here, but there we go. We're on Instagram, and I do a monthly director's report, so if you really wanna know what's going on and the minutes are too boring, you can always look at our director's report. That link is on our webpage as well, so.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thank you guys for your time, I really appreciate it. I'm gonna try and just touch base with you guys every year going forward. I think we discovered in our, well, as we were doing our, strategic plan and community surveys that people were confused about who we were and what we were doing. So I'm trying to find as many forums to just give folks updates as I can.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yes, we
Thank you
appreciate
very
you
much.
guys. So
Thank you.
thank you so much, have a wonderful day.
You
You too.
too,
Thanks.
thank you. Yeah, I saw that, I think, oh gosh. Are you looking?
Yeah, that's incredible.
Okay, this is the first opportunity for public participation for items which are on our agenda. None here. Okay, then we are with you, Ms. Shanks.
Thank you. I would like to ask the board to approve on a consent agenda basis items 6.1 to 6.7. 6.1 are the minutes of the work session held on 5/10/2021 and the regular meeting held on 5/24/2021. 6.2 is the treasurer's report for the period ending 5/31/2021. 6.3 is the availability of funds for then and now invoices in excess of $3,000. 6.4 is a credit card rebate program for fiscal year 21 as required by law. 6.5, final appropriations for fiscal year 21. 6.6, temporary appropriations for fiscal year 22. And 6.7, authorization and confirmation of transfers and advances. And then 6.8 is the measure for the consent agenda.
I'll move approval on a consent agenda basis, items 6.1 through 6.7.
I'll second.
Comments or questions? Anyone? Ms. Shanks?
Julie Hoffman,
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin,
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette,
Yes.
Bruce Slutsky,
Yes.
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Okay, we are back to you, Dr. Rowland.
Thank you. I recommend approval of item 7.1, which serves as a resolution of urgent necessity for the Wellness Center Phase 2 fit-up. We are seeking approval in order that we can complete the contracted work with Devonthal.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Julie Hoffman,
Yes.
Greg Feller,
Yes.
Bruce Slutsky,
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin,
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
I seek recommendation for approval for item 7.2, which is a license stipend for summer swing principals that are listed below. Lisa will be doing summer swing 1 and 2, while Libby will be covering summer swing, the second session.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? So we have two summer swing principals for this?
Yes, one is secondary and one is elementary.
Okay. Anybody else? Ms. Shanks?
Bruce Slutsky,
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette,
Yes.
Julie Hoffman,
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin,
Yes.
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Thank you. I recommend item 7.3, acceptance of gifts for approval. This is a donation of land to Southview from the Dunkirk Realty Limited Liability Company.
I'll move for approval.
I'll
Second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Greg Feller,
Yes.
Bruce Slutsky,
Yes.
Julie Hoffman,
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin,
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
We should probably say thank you to Dr. Realty.
Huge thank you,
That's
yes.
really great.
That's
That means
fantastic.
someone gives us some real estate.
Absolutely. Most appreciative.
Yes, still with you, Dr. Rowland.
Moving on to human resources certified or licensed classification. This will be on a consent agenda approval. Item 8.1, I look to seek your approval of a supplemental position for the 21-22 school year, which is a yearbook advisor. Item 8.2 is seeking approval for a licensed substitute teacher. Item 8.3, I seek approval for licensed summer swing teachers for planning and instruction, in addition to substitutes for additional hours for some of our folks who, for one reason or another couldn't work summer swing, and we need substitute teachers to make sure we continue with instruction for our students. Also, I recommend approval of item 8.4 for license extra duty, more specifically for our special ed ESY program. Those particular positions will be funded through IDEA funds. Also, happy to see item 8.5, a number of new licensed teachers for Sylvania schools. They are joining our family. It's nice to see an array of colleges and universities that are on the agenda. We have an individual from Michigan State, Appalachian State, Miami, Ohio State, Bowling Green, Western Governors, UT, and Lords, actually. So we have a variety of folks joining our Sylvania Schools family. And of course, item 8.6, I'm asking for a consent agenda approval of all aforementioned items.
I'll move for approval items 8.1 to 8.5 on a consent agenda basis. I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Greg Feller,
Yes.
Bruce Lenswitsky,
Yes.
Julie Hoffman,
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette,
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin.
Yes.
Thank you. I recommend for approval several items on a consent agenda basis. Item 9.1 is recommendation for additional hours for summer work. Also, we are recommending the approval of a volunteer, Sue Passion, who just retired, but she is coming back as a volunteer for our district to support some folks here at central office. I think it is quite noteworthy when you have someone who retires and then they want to come back and still help. It speaks to the climate and culture here in Sylvania schools and also the dedication of our employees. So kudos to Sue, and we thank her in advance of her willing to volunteer. We also have a number of classified resignations. We also, which is actually, item 9.2. Item 9.3 is for the classified summer program. We have a number of bus drivers and a secretary there that we are recommending for approval. We have a number on 9.4 for classified new hires. 9.5, we have a couple of new lifeguards, and they're student lifeguards, but we're happy to have lifeguards because so many folks are short with lifeguards. So thank you to Claire and Ethan. And of course, item 9.6 is the approval for items 9.1 through 9.5.
I'll move approval on a consent agenda basis, items 9.1 to 9.5.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Bruce Lenswitsky,
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette,
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin,
Yes.
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 10 is an addendum to the original board agenda. We are seeking the approval of a resignation of a high school head volleyball coach.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Was it Julie and Greg?
Yes.
Okay. Julie Hoffman,
Yes.
Greg Feller,
Yes.
Bruce Lenswitsky,
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin,
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Time for board committee reports and announcements. Cam, anything?
No.
Greg? Tammy?
I had the opportunity to tour Hillview and Whiteford and Arbor Hills in the next few weeks, and I just want to thank the principals for taking me on those tours. They were great.
All right, we need to get over straight again. Ruslan?
No.
I also have nothing, so with that, it's a second opportunity for public participation for items not
None.
on the agenda. Seeing none, will we go into executive session for the purpose of,
Consideration of the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee.
so moved.
Second. Second.
Ms. Shanks?
Julie Hoffman,
Yes.
Bruce Lenswitsky,
Yes.
Greg Feller,
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin,
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
We will not be taking action following.
Thank you,
Erica.
guys.
Take care, Erica.
Yeah, me too.
Rock, paper, scissors.